Now we're going to take a look at Nick style, and especially for something like this, this is totally invaluable. You couldn't do a list like this efficiently without using the Nick style feature. We've created all our styles as we did in the previous movie, and we've got them here. The only thing is that they come in the order you create them, but I actually want them in the reverse order. So I'm just going to go name, address, phone, fax, web. Now I've got them in the order that I want them, and that's just a logical thing. So we're going to take a look at this style, and we're going to go to business name, which is what it is, double click on it, and we're going to choose what the next style is. So the next style is business address. That's straightforward, so we'll come in here and choose business address. Clicking OK. Then we'll go to business address. Now, it's a good idea just to go down and click in here, because if I were to click in business address here, notice how this takes on those attributes. It's easy to fix, but it just makes it a little bit easier if you go down and have your cursor somewhere in the style when you go in to make any changes to it. And we'll come down, and the next one's going to be phone. Now, before I go on, I'll talk about the shortcuts, which I haven't mentioned before. You can create a shortcut from the keyboard. Just click in here, and you would type in, say, Command Shift, Control Shift, Control Alt Shift, Command Alt Shift, whatever, and then a number on the numeric keypad. Now, I don't have a numeric keypad on the keyboard I'm using on this iMac, so I can't create a shortcut here, which is pretty upsetting to me, really. But it's a great way. You can go in there, create this shortcut, and then when you're on the page, you don't have to go down to these styles and type it in. You just hold down the shortcut keys and click it in there. So after that brief interlude there, I'll just click on OK. And we'll go up to phone, click on it, double click, add next style. We'll choose fax, click on OK. Come down to fax, double click. Next style is web, click on OK. Then we go to web. And what's the next style with web? Well, we go back to the beginning again. So it's going to be business name. So we've set the next style for everything. Now all we've got to do is select our text like this, and we come over to business name. We right click on it and choose apply business name, then next style. And it didn't work, so we must have an error in here. It looks as if we haven't applied it to address, so let me just double click. That's right. The next style is actually phone. These mistakes happen, so it's not necessarily a bad idea that they happen while I'm doing these tutorials, so that you can see how to correct them. So we'll apply business name, then next style. Come down here, business name, then next style. Notice it'll only do it to selected text. However, now that we've done that, we can come over, select all. That's all the text. Now, if this were 30, 50 paragraphs or something like that, then can you imagine how fast this is going to be? Business name, then next style. Your entire document is set in just a second with some careful planning with styles. Let me undo that. Actually, I'll just select it all and just go back to the basic paragraph style like this and tell you some caveats here. First of all, in these listings, I've got a name, I've got an address, I've got a phone, fax, and website. So let's say this company didn't have a fax. I'll just delete it. And the next one down didn't have a website. So I'll delete that. And I come in and select all this and apply business name, then next style like that. Well, look, it's all over the place. So when it came over to the item without a fax, it applied the next style here, which is business fax, and then the name got applied business web. And of course, that just radiates down the entire listing. And of course, the same thing happened when the site had no website. And now we've got all the phone numbers in the style of a business name. So let me hit undo. How do you deal with something like that? Well, you've got to go through and make sure that there are the same number of listings for each item. So here's the one that didn't have a website. I'll just hit enter. Here's the one that didn't have a fax. I'll hit enter. So there are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of paragraph text, or 5 paragraphs, a line each, for this item, even though it doesn't have a listing for a fax. Same here for the one that doesn't have a website. That means now when we apply business name then next style like this, it all works properly. So it'll only work if the listings are consistent. So if you were just doing text and you had a header, subheader, and then paragraph text, you'd have to have the same number of paragraphs for it to work. But if you have that all set up, it is incredibly powerful. You want to change something like the web address, you can come in here, change the character formatting. Let's just go to Courier like this. We'll change it to 10 points. Indents and spacing, we'll put a space after it like this. And we'll come in and we'll left align it, clicking OK. And your entire document's changed. Great feature.